Let's move on with this. The Foreign Office has decided it's going to recruit many more armed forces veterans. So this is what they're saying. The Foreign Commonwealth Development Office will implement new measures to increase the number of staff employed with military backgrounds. The FCDO will implement new measures to do this, plans to encourage applications from veterans to the department and improve their chances of successful appointment. Roles are open to veterans in both diplomatic service and in jobs across the UK. This will include FCDO representation in career fairs for veterans of the armed forces and promotion to increase take-up of guaranteed interview scheme for the people who have served in the military. Is this just the government attempting to do what they're encouraging other people to do, to give veterans a chance, or is this the militarization of diplomacy?
I'd think the latter, Mike. Many years ago, there was a report that came out of the US saying that veterans in UK in particular were seen as a problem to the government's long-term social changes and policies. So it was suggesting that the UK government would have to take control of veterans here if it was going to get its transformative political policies through. So they were seen as a threat. I believe what this is trying to do is to draw them into the system to help diffuse the fact that many people deeply concerned about the destruction of the nation state in the UK are former military people.
Okay, let's move on to prisons then. And the government has announced that, well, let's just read what they're saying. The average prison sentence has increased by 57% since 2010, and other sentencing changes have been made to ensure the most serious offenders spend longer behind bars. To meet this demand, the government has embarked on the biggest prison expansion programme in over a century, including 6 new prisons to create an additional 20,000 places. Around 5,500 of these places have already been built, and an additional 2,400 places have been created in the existing prison estate since September last year by doubling up on cell occupancy where it's safe to do so and delaying non-urgent maintenance work. But that's not enough. The Justice Secretary has now unveiled that the government will also enter exploratory discussions with potential partner countries in Europe to rent prison space abroad. Agreements would mean that prisoners in the UK could be moved to another country's prison estate, provided the facilities regime and rehabilitation provided meets British standards. The government will legislate as soon as parliamentary time allows to enable any future arrangements and will require the conditions are to the same standard as prisons in England and Wales. So that's all right, Brian. You're being sent to a country whose language you don't speak, but the prisons will be the same standard as England and Wales.
And that's a pretty appalling standard, Mike. So people are in for a very, very rough time. It's incredible what's actually happening. To suggest the UK is a democracy in 2023 simply cannot be true.
Before we move on, I just want to mention, while we're on the subject of justice, that we started off with Lawrence Fox having his house searched. At that point, we didn't know what the reason for it was, but thanks to someone in the chat box, apparently he is being associated with the damage to ULEZ cameras, and so this investigation is about ultra-low emission zone and London.
Well, he's been very busy if he's been running around London damaging thousands of cameras. Yeah. Yes.